This week's Moment of Science is sponsored by Charleston County Parks.
Despite what horror movies might tell you, space isn't quiet. Take a listen. Those spooky groans are real, taken right from deep space and delivered direct from NASA. Most sound alien, others more familiar.
It's sort of like driving through a rainstorm, except this is dust from the beginning of the solar system as well as, recent asteroids and comets hitting the spacecraft.
While it is true that the traditional sound waves that we hear with our ears cannot travel through the airless vacuum of space, other types of energy waves can and have been recorded by instruments on spacecraft, which scientists then convert into sounds we can hear.
For example, Parker Solar Probe, it's one of our most recent missions. They're measuring radio waves, electromagnetic waves, but we can take that data again and we can sonify it. And we can hear the sounds of particles and waves moving away from the sun.
Like Whistler waves.
You can hear it, and they heard these waves, called them Whistler waves, and we hear Whistler waves, measure Whistler waves in the solar wind coming directly from the sun.
These whistles and plasma waves, dust from comets, and even haunting sounds from other planets' magnetic fields are eerie or beautiful, depending on your taste in music and love for science. But for heliophysicists like Alex Young, it's invaluable data for understanding the complicated physics and behavior of our sun, which sounds like this.
Measuring waves and measuring these sounds, this sonified information, tells us huge amounts of information about the physics and the environment, and it helps us build this bigger puzzle. We get all these different pieces and we start to eventually piece together the story of what's happening.
As the sun is much more dynamic than the bright ball we see here on Earth. I'll explain how and why we study the sun in detail more next week. Until then, for this week's Moment of Science, I'm Storm Team 2 meteorologist David Dixon.